So now I'd like to invite Ms. Shwetakshi Mishra, who is from TY BSc Biotech. Okay, Shwetakshi Mishra, are you online?
Yes,
I
sir.
can see you.
I'm there.
Yeah. Okay, first of all, congratulations to you. You won an award at international event.
Thank you,
That
sir.
was for writing. Yeah, that was for writing some fiction, right? Science fiction.
Yes, sir.
Okay, congratulations. So
Thank you, sir.
the next speaker is Ms. Shwetakshi Mishra from TY BSc Biotech, who is going to talk to us about Indian space science since 75 years. And she's been mentored by Dr. Amara Begum Mullah.
Okay.
Mishra, you get 10 uninterrupted minutes and 5 minutes of question answer.
Okay. So I hope that the slides are visible and I'm audible.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Very warm good morning to the August gathering present here. Myself, Shwetakshi Mishra, and the topic given for me in Conclave 2021 is Indian Space Science in 75 Years. So in this session, we'll be discussing about what is space science and its importance. Then we'll solely discuss about India and space science. So the different agencies which govern them, some of the credits and achievements, what are the future plans of Indian space science. And being a biotechnology student, I would not focus more on the technical aspects of it as our first speaker has already taught about. But I will be dealing more on the biotechnological aspect, which is an emerging field in the Indian space science. And finally, we'll have a view at how we can be a part of the Indians research. So to begin with, we all know that space science is one of the fastest growing scientific discipline, which deals with the systematic study or the study with the help of science about different heavenly objects like planets, stars, galaxies, and a lot more. So the importance of space science is first of all to locate ourselves in the universal map. So where are we exactly about our existence and how we can colonize properly is all about the different aspects of space exploration. Also, understanding about different phenomena which are unique and unimaginable can be an inspiration for different researchers and people to invent modern technologies that can make us sustainable living. So when we talk about India in space science, the journey is not very recent. We have different scripts and ancient saints who have been working on space science, not as a research field, not exactly as a modern research field, but they have discovered a lot about the rotation of planets around the sun, or even movement of the planets. How is it? Astrology is one such aspect. So India has been always a part of the Indian sciences. And we know that Aryabhatta and Bhaskaracharya, they were one of the famous eminent saints or scientists of our ancient India. Moving on to the pre-independent movement, we had a lot of eminent personalities who worked on the developmental basis of India in space science. Sir C.V. Raman, we know that the Nobel Prize winner who worked on Raman effect, it helped us in formulating a lot of laws in the space science. Also, Professor Meghnad Saha and his experiments on principles of space sciences had made us know more about the Indian space sciences. And we have many others as well. We know that two eminent personalities, Dr. Vikram Sarabhai and Dr. Homi Bhabha, they were the founders of the Physical Research Laboratory and the Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, which are the governing agencies for Indian space. Let us move on to the governing agencies for the Indian space sciences. So we have many agencies, but the main ones are the Department of Atomic Energy, which was initially the first department to help establish the space and its related institutes. Then there was the organization of the Indian National Committee for Space Research. There was Thamba Rocket Launching Station, which was established, Vikram Sarabhai Space Center. Then the Indian National Committee, which was then changed to ISRO. We all know that it is the current running body for Indian research organizations. And then there was a formation of a separate department, which was Department of Space. Also, the most recent one, which is the Indian Institute of Space and Technology, is established recently in 2007. So these were some of the governing bodies into space sciences. Next, we'll rush up through the credits and the achievements in 75 because this was discussed already in the by the first speaker. So the beginning of the Indian space science was ideally with the successful launch of the sounding rocket on 1963 from Tamba. And after that, there was a glorious history. We had successful launches of Aryabhatta, Bhaskaracharya 1, Bhaskaracharya 2, and a lot more satellite projects, mostly dealing with the innovations and technologies in communication sciences. Then there was a Indian National Satellite System project, which was established, which launched numerous satellites for better communication with satellite technologies and also better conferencing. The one of the major focus was on the Indian Soviet manned mission, wherein Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma, who was an Indian astronomer, got the opportunity to actually go to space. And then there was the rocket launch. The first vehicle, which was PSLV, was launched in 1999. So these were the achievements in the 20th century. Moving on to the 21st century, which is ongoing, the project on the satellite system continued, and we still have the projects going on. Then there was the design and launch of GSLV, which is the next polar station. We have Kalpana, we have EduSat, and a lot more. Moving on, we've had Chandrayaan 1, which was launched on Sriharikota in 2008, which was almost successful. Then we had the Mars Orbiter mission, which was launched by ISRO, and we are all familiar with it because of the Mission Mangal movie, which described a lot about it. The recent one is the Chandrayaan 2, which has told about lot on moon and its texture and properties in the South Pole. So here are some of the eminent personalities currently in the space science and field in India. Moving on, what are the future plans in India in 100 years? So there are many different projects, some of being are approved, some of the works are going on. So the first one is the X-ray telescopes. So India is basically thinking to opt for X-ray telescopes, which can better visualize and tell about different planets and spacecrafts to basically explore the entire universe. Chandrayaan 3 is also a trending mission in coming 100 years. Solar missions and the Gaganyaan, which will be going to be the first human manned mission of India. Then we have humanoid robots, which are going to get formed. So the first one is Vyom Mitra, which is already there. So the aim of this was to basically reduce the sacrifice of animals into space and directly use robots. Also, we are having a plan of setting space stations, the Independent Indian Space Station at the space. Now, let's move on to the main aspect which I wanted to talk about, that is the current aspects in interest of space biology. So there are different concepts and theories dealing about it, but I would be majorly focusing about space biotechnology, which tells about a lot of discussions on the molecular systems and how will be the interaction in the conditions of the space. So when we talk about India in the biotechnology field, there is balloon mission, which was established in 2001 and repeated in 2005. So this was organized by ISRO and Tata Institute of Fundamental Research. The experiment was designed that a balloon was launched to the stratosphere of the Earth to get samples. So they isolated 12 bacterial and 6 colony fungal samples, and they were of different strains, and the basic study was to see how these organisms are living. So they could find out 3 species of bacteria which are actually UV resistant. So this could be used for many other biotechnological applications. Also, there is an ongoing research on the development of modular devices for extraterrestrial experiments. So ISRO and IISS have made a device which could actually help in cultivating microorganisms in space. So they have small probes in which the samples can be placed in, like fungal spores or small microorganisms like bacilli and other isolated features, and how they will be surviving will be understood with the help of sensors. Now, what are the potential applications of space biotechnology? Firstly, into medicines. So we know that whenever an astronaut moves into space, there are a lot of health issues leading with it. So to prepare medicines on it, for example, calcium deficiency is a common issue. So designing of calcium substituents, which can actually work in space conditions, is one of the aspects of it. Biotechnological
Okay,
aspects.
Shwetakshi, you have just another roughly 1 minute.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's almost done. So, biotechnology and molecular synthesis are mostly working with the DNA technology. How will be the genes altered? And these alterations on the genes can help in crop improvement, alterations in chemicals, and nutritional and food preservations. So, these are some of the aspects of biotechnology in space sciences. Finally, let's discuss about the how can we be a part of the Indian space science. So usually it requires a PhD degree in some of the engineering or pure sciences, but there are entrance exams for applying in IIST and TIFR, and also based on the research aspect. If someone wants to aim and work in ISRO or some other Indian institute, they can undergo a process, an interview process. So that was all about. Thank you for your patient listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Shwetakshi Mishra. I think it was perfect 10 minutes. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
So anybody from the audience with questions? Anybody in the audience can unmute the mic and ask the question or in the chat box. Okay, Mishra, uh, you listed so many achievements in your presentation about India, and all of them are really good. Uh, which one is your personal favorite among them?
So, as I said, being a biotechnology student, I was not much focused into the technical aspects of it. But yes, the Mars mission, which was MOM, was one of my favorites because I got to know about technical
Because
aspects because of the movie as well. And it has a lot of
yeah,
work with texture and other properties of this Mars. So, that is my favorite.
okay, fine. And also, I think Mr. Atish Chaudhary, if you were listening at the end of the presentation, she told how you can join this kind of organization. Okay, fine. So anybody else has any question? I know Shwetakshi Mishra takes a lot of interest in all branches of science. She writes so much. Yeah. Even though she's from biotech, but her interests are in different fields of sciences. She
Thank you,
used to
sir.
she used to share some publications. Used to write some papers. I used to read them. Okay, if anybody has any other questions, we can take it up. Otherwise, okay, it looks like no questions. So thank you, Shwetakshi Mishra, for a
Thank
nice
you.
talk.